Thanks for coming to meet with me, Gary. It's pretty straightforward what I have to say. Thanks for everything you've done for us, but you're fired.
All right, cool. See you later. You'll be in the news tomorrow.
Get out of my office now and enjoy your undeserved JGR ride.
So you got fired from Kaulig literally last night. There's been lots of questions about your relationship with the team recently. What can you say about that?
Yeah, I'm not going to hold back. They've been completely sabotaging myself in the 16 car, the whole playoff run after the beef we had all season leading into the regular season and after the run-in with AJ and whatnot. So we got all the data, and I am going to publish it and showcase exactly what I need to showcase, that they have intentionally, sabotaged us, gone against the rules of motorsport and integrity and sportsmanship and whatnot. So someone needs to expose them, and no one better than me to do it.
Hey Gary, it's BJ McLeod. I heard you need a ride for Miami. Are you interested?
We got fired, we got rehired. We are now driving the NASCAR 25 video game number 78 for BJ McLeod this weekend here on the season finale at Homestead, Miami. In the meantime, we expose Kaulig Racing for intentionally sabotaging us. NASCAR has launched an investigation into it, and that will be coming in the off-season video in terms of the result of that investigation. So NASCAR is investigating everything, looking at radio, looking at the data that I'm presenting to them, that we'll see everything come to light in the off-season video. As well, Kaulig threatened legal action against NASCAR, so there's that as well. Last episode, on top of me exposing them, Kaulig might be in a lot of trouble, to say the least, going forward now, as we are officially off the team in the season finale here in Homestead Miami Speedway. We're in a car that's not as quick as the Kaulig 16 that we're used to, so it's going to be a bit of a rough weekend, but we are at least behind the wheel of something and get to finish it out here before we make the move to Joe Gibbs Racing. A bit of an unexpected plot twist late at the end of the year here, but it is what it is, and we're fortunate to still be on the grid after everything that's happened after getting eliminated in the last round of the playoffs here in that round of 8. And on top of all of the drama, we still have a championship to determine here in today's episode between the final four of Kyle Larson, his Hendrick teammate of Chase Elliott, then Ross Chastain, and last episode's winner of Chris Buescher, who absolutely dominated that race, led every single lap, drove away every time. He was insane there now, as it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Here in qualifying, though, ripping the wall. You're going to see me ripping the wall all day long here in Homestead, Miami, through 3 and 4, up in this third lane, now trying to get it to roll through the exit of the corner, down the front straightaway, of course, now for the final time this season in qualifying, way off the goal. What's it going to be? A 33.307. That puts us P25. A little bit better than I expected, to be honest. Definitely better than what this car is usually capable of, so it's pretty happy with that. And of course, the focus being on the final four. How about Kyle Busch? His final race here for RCR down in 36, but the final four, where have they qualified? Well, towards the outside of the top 10, Chastain 15th, Elliott, Larson 13th and 12th. The only final four driver in the top 10 is Chris Buescher in P7, Hamlin on pole. Truex, in his final race of his Cup Series career, will start front row alongside Hamlin in second place. Trucks, Xfinity had championships to determine as well. The Truck Series championship would go to Frankie Muniz, who made the final four. He would hold off William Sawalich, Shane Van Gisbergen, as well as Tanner Gray, who was way down the order at the end of that race. Sorry, Taylor Gray. So Frankie Muniz is a NASCAR champion in the Truck Series. How about that? On the Xfinity side, it was Austin Hill who would win the race to win the Xfinity Series Championship there. Allgaier being the closest to him down in P8. So Hill, expected to make a move up to the Cup Series next season in place of Kyle Busch, will leave the Xfinity Series as a champion. But now, let's go determine a champion on Sunday in the Cup Series from Homestead Miami Speedway.
It's time to determine a champion today in Miami. Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain are set to showdown today.
On top of that, we had Owen lose his ride this week, and he decided to blow the top off of a huge drama on Dale's podcast.
Yeah, he's in an unfortunate situation. And if he's right, I don't blame him at all for what he did. but today is about focusing on these 4 drivers racing for a title.
It's been a heck of a season, guys. Let's enjoy this finale as it returns to Homestead, Miami.
We're ready to go racing here in this NASCAR 25 Chevrolet, because it is like the NASCAR 25 game coming out, being advertised in this kind of storyline here at the time. But we're racing here from Homestead, Miami as well. A big shout out to Sanok for whipping up this car. In place of me today in the 16 is Chandler Smith. Kaulig Racing has called up Chandler Smith and put him in the 16 car now as we are underway officially here. Now, I was trying to get the Ford EcoBoost 400 to be the race here. I don't know what was wrong, but when modding the schedule, no matter what I did, I could not get that version of Miami into the career mode schedule. No matter, even after putting the code for the Ford EcoBoost race, it would still just be the Dixie Vodka day race, which is unfortunate because I wanted the championship to be determined under the lights in Miami, but unfortunately that's not what we're going to get here now. So I will likely rotate the championship race to a different 1.5 miles next season. The championship will always end at 1.5 miles as long as I'm in control, because that's the best racing in NASCAR's Heat 5 game at least. So stay tuned. It'll likely be what I'm thinking right now, maybe a Las Vegas, but yeah, it could change now. I don't really have a finalized calendar yet here, but we are, trying to make some gains early on here in Miami, and we're going backwards. We started P25, we're about P26, 7, 8, 9, right in that area, as we're to the outside of Carson, host of our contact down the front straightaway there with the Andretti Global rookie. Now he will have a new teammate next season, as it will be Sammy Smith in, of course, place of Corey LaJoy. And speaking of Corey LaJoy, you see him right there in the number 27. He's moving to Hendrick Motorsports next season in that 48 car in place of Alex Bowman, who will be full-time in the car that we just got fired from, the 16 from Kaulig Racing. 4 wide in front of us, a stack up right there. That was Ryan Blaney hitting the brake pedal, and I drive into the back of Corey LaJoy. Fortunately, no damage out of that now as we continue to just try and make this top lane work here. We're moving forward. We're 4 wide again on the outside. Quite a bit of 4 wide action here early in this race. Down this back straightaway, my former teammate now, Daniel Hemrick, their Talladega winner from a few episodes ago when that race ended under caution. Now catching the outside wall just a little bit. Denny Hamlin continues to lead the way. Chris Buescher currently still the best running Final Four driver. But yeah, I mean, it's Larson. Oh, hold on. We actually have an accident up here. That's Daniel Suarez. Suarez gone around in 1 and 2. Big hit there with the 3 car getting collected. And Daniel Suarez blows a tire in his final race with Trackhouse Racing. It's going to come to an early ending, unfortunately, there, as Suarez is still set to stay in the Cup Series. We just don't know where, and we're going to find out in the next episode in the offseason on where that's going to go. We're going to have a packed offseason episode. Buescher runs 8th. Larson, however, has gotten up to 9th. Chastain and Elliott just outside the top 10, but that number 5 has made some headway, while the 17 really hasn't gone anywhere. We're back underway now, and we're about halfway, just past halfway through stage number 1. We restart P25 exactly where we started. Stomped in the pits there, that's Daniel Suarez, whose day has come to an end, as I look forward to seeing what he is capable of doing in next season of this career mode. As you guys know, I am a Daniel Suarez fan. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing him win in an absolutely iconic finish at Atlanta Motor Speedway there a couple days ago there on Sunday night. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I was thrilled to see that happen. What a race it was, too. I have doubted the Atlanta changes, but you know what? They've put on some bangers, and then they put on an incredible race. It wasn't a great race. It was incredible on Sunday there. I mean, absolutely awesome to watch from start to finish. And now here we are, though, trying to continue to move our way forward here in Homestead, Miami. Denny Hamlin continues to lead. 1 win on the season for Hamlin. That was all the way back at Richmond. Martin Truex Jr. In his final race here in Homestead, Miami. Only 1 win for him on the season. That came at Gateway. Unfortunately, he and Hamlin and Bell all missed the Final Four there, as they had 3 Joe Gibbs cars with a chance to make it into the Final Four, and they couldn't get a single one into it. Of course, looking at some big names this season that appeared to be, going winless, really specifically the 24 of William Byron is looking like he's going to go winless this season, as we actually catch the outside wall right there in 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, that was really the surprise to me, is Byron, he was able to advance far into the playoffs, but just, yeah, never really was able to run well enough for a race victory. Could it be his day today? I'm going to say unlikely, as we continue to see Hamlin leading, but what was a bit unexpected is the 5 of Kyle Larson had driven up to 2nd place in this stage and was actually putting pressure on Denny Hamlin for the lead here in stage 1, which is the ultimate, I mean, fearing moment for everybody in the final 4. Look at this, 2 to go, coming to the final lap in stage 1. Kyle Larson to the lead after starting outside of the top 10. Larson, sure enough, would exit turn 4 on the final lap of stage 1. He will win stage 1 here in Homestead, Miami. Larson won this race last year. He's been licking his chops to have a Miami finale again, and now he is in position to potentially get his 2nd NASCAR Cup Series championship today. 24th place for us in stage number 1, which, you know, honestly is, in my opinion, quite a bit better than what this car is usually capable of doing. So we're going to come in and fill it up on fuel, put 4 tires in it, not really making any adjustments. How about Corey LaJoy up to 4th? Keselowski 5th, Ty Gibbs there in P6. Keselowski, maybe another notable that appears to be going winless this season. He has had a strong season. He made the playoffs, and he just hasn't quite had enough to get to victory lane here now, and he's thrown a couple of wins away this season. We lose 2 spots in the pits here now as we get ready to go back racing here from Homestead, Miami. The green flag is out, and now stage 2 is underway here from Miami. Now on the outside of the number 4 of Josh Berry, behind us is now former teammate of AJ Allmendinger, and that number 13 Larson leads away through 1 and 2, and he's going to try and drive away as quick as he can now, as his final 4 competitions nowhere near him. Chase Elliott had a horrendous result in stage 1, 7 wins on the season. We look at Kyle Larson, I mean, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, what do they have in common? They have nowhere near the amount of wins that Chase Elliott has. Chris Buescher got his 3rd win of the season last time out in Martinsville. Chastain comes into today with 3 wins. Kyle Larson only has 2 wins on the season. One of them was a big one, the Brickyard 400, but then he went and won the playoff opener at Darlington, kind of setting the tone that he is here this year. Last season was so disappointing for him, was out in the round of 12, went and won in Homestead to get his 1st and only win of the season, but 2 wins this season, looking to make it 3 at the most important time here now at Homestead, Miami again, as he tries to go back to back on Homestead Miami wins. And I mean, looking at the storyline, he won Miami in 2022 in real life, and this story started in 2023, so he's actually looking to go 3 consecutive wins in Homestead Miami. What a story that would be, and especially now if it would bring him a 2nd NASCAR Cup Series championship. Chase Elliott, 7 wins on the season, though. It's been absolutely incredible, but he's faced a lot of challenges, specifically tire failures, especially later in the regular season. He hasn't quite had the momentum you would expect from a 7-time race winner on the season, and honestly, I haven't considered him to be the championship favorite since the season had started, or the playoffs had started, sorry, even after winning 7 races at this point, 2 of those being in the playoffs. I just haven't seen enough consistency out of that 9 car to really consider him a title favorite. I honestly consider him the weak link here of the final 4, as we now see smoke pouring out of the back of the 3 of Austin Dillon. That's going to bring out a caution here for the 2nd time today. Oh my goodness, he nearly turned down into the side of us there, but we're okay. And we're going to see Kyle Busch and William Byron elect to come into the pits here, while everybody else is going to stay on the racetrack there. Buescher P7, that's Larson's closest threat, and Chastain and Elliott both outside of the top 10. Surprising, Chastain especially has been so good at all the 1.5 miles, and here he is with a championship on the line, and he can't even break into the top 10. We're back underway now from Homestead, Miami. It's going to be a handful of laps to go here in stage number 2. 6 to go to be exact now. But yeah, I mean, back on Chastain, he's been so good at these 1.5 mile racetracks, and it just doesn't look like it's materializing here today. And Chris Buescher, I mean, really nobody seems to have what that 5 car has right now. Usually to win a championship, you got to be the best car and win the race. And Kyle Larson is now putting everybody's backs against the wall in that Final Four. They're going to have to win the race to win the championship, because that's what Larson's doing right now. We're up to the outside wall here through 3 and 4, trying to get that momentum rolling to the outside of the 4 and the 12 of Ryan Blaney across the stripe here. 5 to go in stage number 2, to the back of the 48 of Alex Bowman there. Daniel Emmerich in the 31, sounding like he might not be staying in that 31 next season, but there is still some things for Kaulig to sort out, specifically because they might be in a lot of trouble now going into the offseason, after I decided I was going to expose everything that they have done. But we are going to have conversations ourselves with NASCAR in the offseason, present the actual data showing that they had in fact sabotaged us all playoff long, and the radios, of course, NASCAR is going to be investigating that through the course of the playoffs. So there's going to be a lot that NASCAR has to look into in the offseason to determine what's going to go on with Kaulig and their decision there, because I am confident that there's going to be a big penalty laid down on this Kaulig team here in the offseason. So it's going to be really interesting, to say the least, as we continue to fight forward here in stage number 2, running for about the 17th to 20th kind of area now. As you can see, Kyle Busch, he's working his way forward in these closing moments of stage number 2, as we continue to battle with the 48, the 12, as well as the 31, the 51 of Justin Haley for Rick Ware Racing, of course, moving to RFK next season, having a good run here today. On this final lap of stage 2, however, Kyle Larson continues to lead the way through 3 and 4. Kyle Busch up my inside on this final lap of the stage, and look at him go 3 wide up the inside. He has 4 fresh tires compared to everybody else here. Now Larson wins stage number 2. We exit turn 4 side by side, 3 wide, but it's not going to be enough to gain anything there. P21 in stage number 2. The final 4, that's the big question. Where are they all ranked here? Now, we know where Larson is at the top of the board. Elliott is outside the top 10 still. Chastain got to P7, while Busher runs in P6. LaJoy now in second. Keselowski in third. Corey LaJoy is having a fantastic day here in Homestead Miami Speedway. So we're going to come in again, 4 tires, fill it up on fuel, and get ready for the third and final stage of the season. Now, it's been a heck of a season. I want to say thank you right now to everybody who's tuned in, watched all season long. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this progressing story with Kaulig that has just kind of gone on from the start of the season to the end of the season now, and it ends with the BJ McLeod 78 car, of course, in our hands instead, as we make the run down towards turn 1. Larson leads the way over LaJoy. Keselowski just in behind. Busher there, P5, third in line on the inside. What can he do? Now Josh Berry up my inside here on the exit of turn 2. Made it 3 wide briefly, but we stay clear of him. Still 2 wide, though, down this backstretch with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up my inside. But, of course, if you've been out of the loop, a lot of changes in the offseason from rosters and teams now, as we're in the outside wall, but we get collected and don't really damage the car, but we lose positions instead, about down to 31st place there, as Austin Cindric is going to pass us now with 23 laps to go, as we are now just going to have to settle in and try to move back forward. But yeah, we're going to be going over all the changes in the offseason video, but a few key ones. Kyle Busch going to Trackhouse, myself going to replace the retiring Martin Truex Jr. at Joe Gibbs Racing. The Ford Dark Horse Mustang will now be on track. The Toyota won't, simply because we couldn't find a way to actually make the new Toyota look good on any of the car models. Either way, we're still going to have a fun season. 3 is a caution is going to fly with 21 laps to go, which presents an opportunity for strategy. Chris Buescher up to second place there, putting some pressure on Kyle Larson. We're going to come in and throw 2 tires on the car, because you can see we're at 98% wear on the left side, 98% on the right front, only 97 on the right rear. But I was expecting the AI to take right sides. They usually kind of do in a scenario like this, but we really haven't run that far, so they could elect to take no tires here. We're not really fighting for much other than a points position. That doesn't really matter to us, so if we lose track position like that right there, it's not the end of the world. You can see John Hunter Nemechek, host of ours, as well, take 4 tires. They give up 6 positions while we gave up 8. So we're now down in 35th place with 18 coming to 17 laps to go once we cross the stripe here from Miami. Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher seem to be the 2 emerging drivers that are going to fight it out for a Cup Series championship here today. Larson looking for his second. His first title came game in 2021. Busher, Elliott, Busher looking for his first in for Chastain, Elliott looking for his second. Corey LaJoie is actually up the inside of Kyle Larson through 3 and 4, looking for the lead, but Larson now all the way on the outside. You can see LaJoie to the lead, Larson's to the top, drifting backwards, but he's got so much speed in that Jinya Ramen Chevrolet Camaro that he's going to probably be able to fight back here in these next couple of laps. But it is, I mean, all Kyle Larson here today in Homestead, Miami. Not really surprised. He is so good at ripping the wall. He is so good at Miami, a track where you can do exactly that and really, of course, find success. And he is proving it again here tonight in Homestead. 15 laps to go in the season. LaJoie, who won the Daytona 500 for Andretti Global, well, he's trying to finish the season off with winning the last race of the year as well. Could he do it? What a story that would be before he goes to Hendrick Motorsports now and leaving Andretti Global in good hands and good potential future on the way for that team here. Now 3 wide up the inside here of Allmendinger, our former teammate, and the 41 of Ryan Preece as well, who will be departing SHR at the end of this season as they downsize to a 2-car team, and he will be headed to replace Justin Haley in that 51 car at Rick Ware Racing next season. Larson had officially taken the lead and was starting to drive away. The 17 of Busher was fading. The 1 of Chastain had faded. The 9 of Elliott had nothing in the tank as well. It's all Kyle Larson with 10 laps to go here in season number 2, the 2024 season now, as we come through 3 and 4, running in 24th place, trying to close in on the back of Josh Berry at this point here as we continue on, just getting closer and closer here, really finding some confidence and comfortability actually in this car. Even though it's a bit of a handful to drive, it doesn't go as quick as the Kaulig car of course does, as you can see that replicated here. I mean, we've barely broken into the top 15 today as a caution flies. It's Eric Jones who has an apparent engine failure. You can see the smoke pouring out of the back of the car up there in the distance. That's going to force a late race restart. Larson's out in front, Busher down in P6, Chastain P12, and Elliott all the way down in 18th place. It's going to take a miracle for Chastain or Elliott and almost even Busher, who's going to be, you know, a few rows back and on the outside, while Larson is in control on the inside, front row. This could be the final restart of the season here, and now we are back underway. It's going to be a 5-lap dash in Miami. Who's going to come out on top? Can Larson win both the race and the championship? It's been a bit of an anticlimactic, championship race here since Larson's kind of taken over now, and we just haven't seen the other 3 drivers emerge very far. I mean, Elliott's had nothing all race long, and same for Chastain, who broke into the top 10 at the end of stage 2, but really hasn't shown anything after that as he's drifted back outside of the top 10 now as we approach just 4 laps to go. Larson on the inside, Busher trying to make some headway and run him down, but I don't think it's going to happen here now as we continue on ourselves now to the inside. 3 wide of the 31 of Hemrick and the 51 of Justin Haley. Stano's going to drop down to the inside, and that number 47 just in front of us, set to depart from that team at the end of the season. Now Corey Heim expected to be behind the wheel of the 47 next season as they switch over to Toyota at JTG, which is going to be an exciting new future for them. And Toyota is increasing their relationship as well with Legacy Motor Club, and Joe Gibbs Racing is increasing their kind of relationship too. So I expect to see that team to be a true playoff contender in their second season with Toyota. Now coming to the final lap of the season, it's over. Kyle Larson takes the white flag here. What a season it has been, and it all comes down to this moment where no one quite had enough for that number 5. He's just going to get it back around one more time, which is sometimes easier said than done. We've seen the leader have issues before races, but I don't think it's going to happen today. Larson on cruise control. We have gotten into the top 20, P19, as Larson wheels the car through 3 out of turn 4, and Kyle Larson will win the race and become the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion, a 2-time champ, Kyle Larson. You hear Larson celebrate over the radio, a 2-time champion, as his closest competitor ended up being Chris Buescher in P6. Chastain and Elliott, and Buescher all go home disappointed. Our final race here, P19, before we make the move to Joe Gibbs Racing here. Suarez, Dylan both out there at the bottom. An unfortunate end for Suarez and his career with Trackhouse before he moves on to a new team next season. The final overall standings, that's the question as well. Rookie of the Year, who wins Rookie of the Year? We ended up P11, which could have been better. We had a chance to actually get up to 8th, beating Logano. This wasn't meant to be. Suarez there, P22. But Rookie of the Year, Carson Hocevar, 26th in the standings, while Barry ended up 34th there. That's it. Season 2, it's over. Season 3, a lot to look forward to in the off-season video, a lot to look forward to there, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for the support all season long. Have yourselves a great day.